All right, let's go. We've got a game here against Uzumaki 103, rated exactly the same as me. And we've got the Queen's Gambit on the board now. I'm going to play the Slav Defense. And we go into basically the mainline Slav here. So I'm going to go ahead and take on c4 and then put the bishop on f5. Okay, so if he plays this move e3 right away, I believe I can just play b5 here. Because I think the idea is to play a4 to stop the b5 move and only then to play e3. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that and play this move. And see how he is going to deal with this. Just going to hold on to the pawn. Simple as that. And basically make him prove that he's going to be able to maintain this. The question that I'm asking myself now is, where do I want to put this bishop? Does this belong on b7? Does it belong on f5? I think it belongs on b7, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and play b7 bishop. But that just doesn't seem right. I feel like there's got to be a better move right now or something. Okay, let's play e6 first. Let's try to get some kingside development going on here. So I had a feeling this was going to happen. He's going to play bishop f3, try to get the pawn back this way, I think. Or something like that. My idea is that if he plays bishop b7 and bishop f3, I have to play queen b6. So I develop here. I mean, next move I'm playing knight bd7. Okay, so this came in the board now. So I'm going to play queen to b6 here, I believe. I have to calculate all the captures here to see if there's any kind of lethal capture possible. I don't think so. I think we're just going to be able to hold on to this extra pawn. Gonna challenge the e5 knight right away. The bishop on f3 is hurting him even now more because here he could have played f4. That's the move he would like to play, but he can't do that here because of his own bishop on f3. Bishop is not bad on f3 necessarily. You know, it's pointing at a good diagonal, but the thing is that it does make it difficult for him to support the e5 square with a move like f4. So I'm up a pawn now. So my goal is basically to just trade down to an endgame and win the endgame being up a pawn. It's the simple plan. Okay, he takes. Just making sure that there's no chance that king takes d2 is the right move here. Don't think so, so I think I'm gonna take with the knight. Still, there's no knight takes b5 because queen protects on b7. Queen also protects the b5 pawn. And then now, I think the game is going to be hopefully pretty simple if I can just play bishop e7 and castle. I'm going to put the rook on d8 and one rook on e8. And then play for maybe e5 or something like that at some point. And really be crashing through in this game. I don't think I want to put my bishop on d6, by the way, because there's e4 and e5 coming at some point. Don't want that scenario, so I think e7 must be the square for the bishop. Which also keeps the bishop from any kind of attack from the queen on the d file, potentially. And also, bishop on e7 protects d8 square for the rook, and also plans to go to f6. So, bishop e7 is definitely going to be the next move, unless he does something crazy here. I think white might try a4 or something, maybe. Or he might try e4, he might try rook e1, he might try b3. b3 seems kind of logical-ish to some extent. But if b3 comes, I have no problem trading off that c4 pawn. I also have to keep in mind, sometimes the option of playing b4 followed by b3 or something like that. Had he played b3 maybe. But here there's knight a4, so it's not going to work well. As far as his moves are concerned, I think he'll probably play, I don't know, e4 maybe, or b3. a4 seems logical to me. Try to, beat at this pawn on b5. Maybe knight e4 is a move. I don't know. But I think e4 must be the most principled move here. Getting that dark square bishop out quickly and grabbing the d5 square as well. Like maybe he can try something like e4, e5, some knight e4, knight d6 type of thing. Although I can always chop on d6, and that pawn is another weakness now, which will be picked up by rook on d8 or something like that. So it's not that easy. I feel like my opponent left the game. Well, he's back. His light turned from green to gray for a little bit. Yeah, this is definitely a tough position for white from here, Just down a pawn. Nothing to show for it. Pieces are still kind of cramped. He does have a good center. That's pretty much the only thing that he has going. The bishop on f3 is, I guess, well placed. Challenging my bishop. Ooh, that's really it. Other than that, I don't see a whole lot of compensation for that pawn. You want to do a long think here. I think he's losing connection because he keeps coming in and out of the game. Well, hopefully it's not me that's losing connection, just to make sure I'm going to exit the game and come back into the game. Sometimes it's, the problem is on my end. I don't even know. The clock just keeps ticking, but really it's my clock that's ticking. I've had that scenario happen where it shows the opponent's clock is running down, but it's really my clock running down because I'm disconnected. But here it definitely seems like my opponent left the game. Yeah, I'm going to take the victory here. He's gone. So let's analyze this. We were winning this anyway. We're going to win this game anyway. It's pretty good for white. Okay, so Started with knight f3, d5, d4. Now it's a queen's gambit. Slav defense. Mainline Slav. They call it 3 knights variation. So here the main move is to take. So the e6 move would be the semi-Slav, which I guess is the main move. But I don't like to play the semi-Slav because I don't like to block my light square bishop behind that pawn chain like that. It's very difficult to play with that structure, I think. With the bishop, bad bishop. So I like to get the bishop out quickly. And one of the ways you do that is by taking on c4. Because what you're doing is you're making black ways to, or white ways to move with playing a4. So he can't play his natural move e3 right away. He can do it, like he did. But the thing is that if you do that, then you're going to have to play this like a gambit. Because black can actually hold on to the pawn now with b5. And it's not so easy to get rid of this pawn. Like if a4, there's, you know, like if you played a4 here, I think I could have played like b4. And this gets very complex very quickly. There's like bishop a6 now. And ultimately, like, black can hold on to that extra pawn. Let's just leave it at that. So, yeah, so you just capitulates, I think. When you play a move like bishop e2, you're just basically saying, you know what? I lost. You got the pawn. You win. He should have fought for the pawn maybe with a4 and tried to complicate things a little bit. But he played it very simply. I just played normal moves, e6. Yeah, I was contemplating between e6 and bishop b7. The reason I chose e6 is just to get the king side developed faster. So we're still following theory. Apparently, there's a Garry Kasparov game here. We're at 2300, drew him. That's pretty crazy. Wow, both games from this position have been draws. Interesting. Okay, so 95, he plays. Starting from that, we start to go off of book. So this move, I see his idea. He's trying to pile up on c6 with the knight and the bishop. I mean, I could have guessed that move. 95 was basically to play bishop f3. I pretty much did guess that actually during the game. So I kind of prepared accordingly. Bishop e7, just getting my pieces out. And if once bishop f3 came, then I just played queen b6 to give protection to this entire side of the board. But even a6 apparently was okay. Then he castled, and I played knight b to d7, challenging e5 knight right away. Capture, capture. And he left the game here. Or got disconnected or something. So, not really a whole lot to gain from this game either, really. I mean, you know, we followed perfect opening principles and played logical opening moves. We got a free pawn, so we grabbed it and we held on to it. And we had a, you know, I would say almost a winning position, really. Not quite winning, but like significant advantage because, I mean, I'm just up a solid, healthy pawn. So, yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon.